Today I want to talk about a video game called Inscryption. So, spoiler warning for this because I don't think there's any way for me to go about talking about the game and all the elements that I really enjoyed without spoiling it. So, if you don't want to be spoiled, I would not listen to this review. And also, I think that this game is best experienced completely blind. I knew nothing about this game, literally at all, going into it. Nothing. I knew nothing about it. And I think it made the game that much more enjoyable for me. So if you haven't played the game and you don't know anything about it, I would recommend that you play the game before listening to this review. Otherwise, let's get into it. Inscryption was made in 2021 by Daniel Mullins Games and published by the developer Devolver Digital. And by January of 2022, the game had sold more than 1 million copies. So I remember when this game came out and everybody was talking about it, but they kept saying the same thing. If you don't know anything about this game, good. Go into it blind because it is quite the experience. And I had waited 4 years to finally play this game, and I'm very glad that I knew nothing about it because it just made every aspect of this game as it unfolded that much more awesome for me. So yes, it's a very popular game, and once again, final warning, if you don't want to be spoiled, don't listen to this review because I want to talk about what I liked about the game. So anyway, Inscryption is a roguelike deck building card game, and it was incredibly fun once I started to get the hang of it. So I guess prior to playing this, I mean, I've played card games before. I've dabbled in them. Like, I've played Hearts. I play Solitaire. I've played a game called Rook that I really like. These are kind of like tabletop card games. The only other, like, deck building game that I've really gotten into, like, I played Master Duel for a couple weeks with my friends, but that didn't last too long. And then I really got into Gwent when I played through The Witcher 3 this year. I started in December of last year, but finally got through it this year. I got really into Gwent, and that was really fun. It's a deck building game that's inside of The Witcher 3. Incredible. So, after I had beaten The Witcher 3, and I was still kind of on a card building high, I knew that much anyway of Inscryption, as I knew it had something to do with cards. So I was like, you know what, I'm playing roguelikes, I'm enjoying those. I played Gwent, I'm enjoying that. Let's jump into Inscryption. And I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but I loved pretty much every second of this game. So the game starts off with you not even being able to hit new game. You have to do continue, and then you're basically just dumped into this area where you see this creepy dude sitting across from you, and you are just playing cards. You are learning how to play the card game. And it took me a long time. I mean, it probably took me a couple hours to finally figure out what I was doing because I'm not going to really explain how to play the game. I think you should just go experience it yourself. I mean, I'll briefly go over it, but I'm not going to go in depth. But essentially, you're trying to, bigger number is better, right? But in order to summon cards, you have to sacrifice these little squirrel guys to summon certain cards, and then other cards require bones. So kind of the basic mechanics of it is like that. It's similar to like summoning in Yu-Gi-Oh, where you have to sacrifice a monster to summon other monsters. Very similar in that aspect. But anyway, it's man, it was a ton of fun, but it was very difficult for me in the beginning. Like I was about at a point to where I wanted to give up because I was just getting my keister trashed. I was getting roasted. I was getting ripped in half by this creepy dude sitting across from me. And it was hard for me to even get past, specific areas. I think there's 4 different areas before you finally beat the run or a run of the game. So I'll explain that a little bit later too. But it was difficult. I was getting stuck on bosses. You've got the miner, and then you've got the fisherman, and then you have the third boss, which is, I'm drawing a blank, but each one of them have different abilities. Anyway, as you're going through and building your deck, you get different cards that they all have different abilities. Some cards you're able to just attack over defenses and hit the player directly, and whenever you take damage, instead of losing life points, you lose teeth. Teeth fall, into this scale, and basically you want to get more teeth on your side. Anyway, there's lots of different aspects to the deck building that is just super fun. You can upgrade your cards by making them stronger, and it's also gambling. Like you go around this campfire and you're like, okay, I want to increase the defense or the attack power of this specific card, and you keep gambling, and sometimes you can build a really good card, and then sometimes the guys around the campfire eat your card. So that's kind of a fun little gambling aspect to it there. You can fuse cards together. Like I said, there's different cards that have different abilities. And then another thing you can do is you can build these totems, which affect the different monster cards that you have. And one of them, like, it clicked in my brain when I finally understood how the totem thing works, is I was able to do the squirrel totem. So for all the rodents, which is my squirrel cards, instead of having to constantly draw a bunch of squirrel cards and use them, I put like this infinite spell thing on the squirrel card where I could keep sacrificing that card, but it never died. Like, I would sacrifice it and it just stays there. There's just lots of fun little different mechanics like that. And then once the game kind of clicks for you, like it did me, man, it becomes so much fun. Then you're trying to figure out different builds and trying to 100 IQ the guy that's across from you. But also when you start doing boss battles, you have to figure out how to counter what he's doing. Because like the miner, after you get to phase 2, he hits all your front row cards and then they turn to gold. And then you can't use them anymore. The fisherman, he can hook one of your cards and pull it to his side. So there's just lots of different little mechanics that just made this really, really fun, but also made it really difficult. And I've never played a roguelike card-based game, like a deck builder, but my God, was this so much fun, because every run has you trying different builds, trying different abilities, building different totems, trying to figure out what routes to take, so you're either upgrading cards or adding cards to your deck. And then another aspect that I thought was super, super cool is every time you lose a run, the creepy dude takes a picture of you, and then you can build a kind of like a special card that you can get and use throughout your next run. So sometimes I would get really lucky and the card I would build would be super powerful and OP, and other times I would end up building just a monstrosity that was a piece of crap and essentially just a brick in the hand. You may as well take a dump, because a poop is better than the card you had built. But it was just fun. It shook up the gameplay so much that every single run that you're doing is never the same. And it really made me interact with all of the different cards and trying to do different things, different combinations and different builds. It was so much fun. I loved doing this. I loved jumping in. And not only do you have the entirety of the card mechanics, but then also in between rounds of like fighting guys, like playing cards against the dude across from you, the creepy guy, you can actually get up from the table and then walk around, and you're solving puzzles within inside of this cabin. So there's another layer to it there. And it was super, super fun. And I think it took me like 6 or 7 hours to beat my first run, but that's actually when the game starts, which is crazy. So you beat the run. Like, I solved a bunch of the puzzles, ended up beating the run. You beat all the bosses, you beat the final boss, you beat the run. And then you go back to the main menu and you can hit new game. And then it takes you into this like top-down pixel adventure where once again you're going through and you're solving puzzles on this adventure thing. You're trying to beat the 4 different bosses of the overworld. Man, it's insane that the game opens up even more after that. You know what I mean? Like, you beat the roguelike aspect of it, you beat your run with the cards, and then you go into this a pixel adventure thing that you go on, but it still revolves around the card mechanics. So it changes, because I picked the robotic one where I was trying to overthrow the robot card guy deity thing, and yeah, it was like the card game ended up changing. And I mean, it's still similar in aspects of where you have like the fuel that you're using to keep playing the card game, I guess, and playing the robot deck was like the fuel was batteries. I didn't really mess with much more outside of that, which I'm assuming all 4 decks are different. Similar enough, but then different, right? So I put about 10 hours into this game, and I didn't end up beating it fully, just because I had my fill. Like, I had a lot of fun with the roguelike deck building aspect of it, and then when I finally got back to playing the regular card game version, although I was playing the robot version of it versus the monster version that I started with, it was fun. But I kind of got burnt out, and maybe it's not necessarily the gimmick. Maybe I just got burnt out of card games at that point. So it was difficult. I won't deny that, and that could be part of the aspect of why I kind of just put it down and said I've had my fill. But it was fun. Like, this game is something else, man. Inscryption. If you haven't played it, you should. Even if you didn't heed any of my warnings and you listened to this entire review, you should go play this game and enjoy it for what it is, because it is a ride. It's very hard to explain what this game is in words. You just kind of have to experience it. So if you like card games, if you like roguelikes, if you like the marriage of those two, Inscryption is a game for you. So anyway, that's it. Those are my thoughts on Inscryption. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section below, and I will see you guys in the next video. As always, keep it rad.